Hello light bearers and truth seekers. Today I'm going to tell you how to deal with the lockdown blues, with lockdown loneliness. And it's easy. I'll see you soon. Years ago there was a study done, and it was a study that wouldn't be allowed today to happen. Well, it probably would actually. They just wouldn't talk about it. But basically what they did was they took some children that were born and they deprived them of all physical contact. And they had some children that had physical contact. And what they discovered was that children that have no physical contact, none, die. They just die. They wither away. They can be fed, but they die. Okay? In another study, they were doing a test on rabbits, or I think it was rabbits, and they were giving rabbits injections of cancer and stuff like that. They're always inducing, do awful tests on animals, awful tests, and they had two control groups, right, and both of them were getting the same injections of this poison that was supposed to kill them. And they wanted to see if they could, if they would both die at the same time in these lovely experiments. And what they discovered was there was one control group that seemed to be living, and the poison wasn't causing them any problems, or certainly a lot less than the other control group. And they couldn't understand it because the control groups were identical. So they started to investigate, and what they found was that one of the laboratory assistants was taking care of one control group, okay, and another assistant was taking care of the other group. And what was happening, when the assistant was coming in the morning, he was an animal lover, and so he would take out the rabbits and he would stroke them, and he would give them some love, and he would touch them, and then he would put them back in. Those rabbits survived despite the poison. And that's what they discovered, that touch and that love actually is life-giving. Okay? So, what's happening with our lockdown loneliness is that we aren't allowed to touch anyone. And this is a serious issue. I can't begin to tell you how important it is that you have physical contact with people. It's absolutely vital. Because if you don't, little by little, you're going to fade away. We need contact. I was on the course that I told you about at the weekend. I have never had embraces and hugs the way that I was getting embraces and hugs. They were almost desperate embraces. They were so tight and they held on for so long, almost like they didn't want to let go. That is a sure sign of where we are. The world needs love. And what the world needs now is love, sweet love. Okay? And it's true. We need it. Right. But what happens if you're living on your own? You can't just go randomly out and hug people in the street. They wouldn't like it. Wouldn't thank you for it. Okay? What happens if you're living with your partner or with your family, but you're not able to see other family members? What happens if they're alone and you're not able to see them, and you can't give your mum a hug, and you can't give your dad a hug, or your aunt, or whatever? What is the solution? Well, this is the other part. The mind cannot distinguish between imagined and reality. Imagination and reality. The mind is proven in study after study, which I can't go into because I'm not a detailed person. The mind cannot distinguish. That's why, I'll give you an example. Just imagine now. Imagine that you've got a nice lemon, and I've just cut the lemon in half and it's dripping with lemon juice. And I want you to imagine that you take the lemon and you rub it on your tongue like this. What does it do to your mouth when you imagine rubbing a freshly cut lemon? It's doing it to me, on your mouth. You react as though you were really rubbing a lemon on your tongue. Why? Because the mind does not distinguish between imagination and reality. This is beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, this is beautiful. Why? Because I'm going to show you how. If you are living alone and you are not getting the hugs that you need, or if you're living with your partner and they hate you and you're not getting, or you hate them and you're not getting the hugs that you need, this is what you do. And I've been using this in some of my therapies, and I've been using it personally, and I tell you that it really works. So what you do is you get a lovely, nice, big pillow. All right? Now, I haven't seen my mum for a year, and I miss her, and I love her. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to imagine that I've got my mum here, okay? And I've got my mum, and I'm hugging her, and I'm smelling her, and I'm patting her, and I'm hugging and I'm holding her. This is my mum, okay? Now, as I'm doing this, it doesn't matter that it's a pillow. The mind cares not one jot that it's a pillow, because I'm imagining that it's my mum. I can feel it. I can smell it. And so my body is getting that touch. My body's getting the hug that I need, okay? And you can go through all of the people that you want to hug, and you can hug them and imagine it. And you just have to imagine that you're doing it, and then close your eyes. I do this when I use this for my own personal therapy. If I have had a problem with somebody, I'll hug them, and I'll apologize, and I'll say it's okay and everything's all right, and it makes me feel wonderful. And it can make you feel wonderful. So never be without a hug. Don't think that you can be strong and you can get through this without having to touch people. You need people. You need to touch people. And you can do it literally by pretending. Okay? So grab your pillow and hug somebody you love. And give them the hug of a bear hug. And tell them you love them. And stroke them. Okay? You will notice a difference. Your body will say, thank God I've touched somebody today. All right? Yeah, I'm really enjoying this now. You all right, Mum? I miss you. Okay, I'll leave that with you. Share it. Share this video if you think it'll help somebody. If you know somebody who's living alone in this stupid fucking lockdown, send this video to them. Help them. Because they need it. We need some hugs. We need some love. All right? See you later. Have a great weekend.